Well, if you remember, a while back, maybe 3, 4 weeks ago, I don't know, a long time, I was concerned about a box that was supposed to be coming FedEx. And we had like 3 inches of snow. Well, I know right away when that happens, I'm going to get this weather delay, delivery exception. And it did. So they haul them out. They don't have time to deliver them, so they bring them back to town. Now the snow was gone like the next day or two. But this weather delay continued for a good week. Every day they load them on the truck, come out here. Whoop, didn't get time, didn't get them delivered. And then finally one day, like a week late, whoop, they were going to deliver them. And I happened to be out here, and I saw the truck, less than a quarter mile away, and it went the wrong direction. Away it went. So I was screwed again. But what I was waiting on were these B-73 Carhartts, the double front loggers. Now, I wasn't in a hell of a hurry for them. I just get concerned when stuff wanders around. Well, I always keep on hand spares, and over the winter, I had to use up two of my spares. I had simply wore out the others. So I replaced them, and I was down to one spare. So I thought, okay, I'll order 4 more spare. But they were coming FedEx, and this can be a problem. Uh, so after they didn't deliver that day, when I saw the truck go by, then the tracking just ceased. Uh, there was no more attempts. There was nothing. The tracking didn't update anymore. They were sitting in Fargo and they weren't going anywhere. So I contacted FedEx. Well, this is a disaster right away because you don't get FedEx. You get first they deal with this AI. The AI gets completely flummoxed and turns you over to a human operator. I thought, oh boy, I got it made now. No, it was somebody in India, and we weren't getting anywhere. I couldn't understand anything that she was saying, and she couldn't comprehend my problem at all. My only hope was I thought, it said they could be recorded. So I thought, okay, I'll tell you the whole story, and somebody can listen to this recording, and maybe we can get it straightened out. So I did that, made the whole spiel about the problem. Well, I never heard again. Like I said, the tracking just stopped, and that was the end of it. So I got a hold of Dungarees, the company that I buy from, and they're good. It isn't the company's fault. It's dealing with FedEx, and they were going to get right on it. So okay, they got on it and wasn't getting anywhere. So finally, they just said, "Well, we'll send you out a different shipment, UPS," and that's what they did. And they finally, they arrived in like 3 days. So I got a box. But the tracking on the other original shipment from FedEx is still wandering the country. All of a sudden, the tracking kicked in again about 4 or 5 days ago, and it shows the box down in Missouri someplace. So I don't know if it's heading back to Dungarees or what the deal is, or if it could end up here again. I do not know. Uh, it's a mystery to me. But at least I got 4 of them, and I figure, okay, if these other 4 turn up, fine. I'll buy them, and I'll have 4 more spares. But the problem and the moral of the story is here: these companies, they get to depending solely on technology in their shipping. Scan something, and this. GPS tells you where it's supposed to go, and so they should have no problem in their mind. So they don't have to keep track of, they don't have to keep good employees who know the route and know what they're doing. They figure, well, with the technology, we can hire any monkey. It doesn't matter, and that's what they do. So they constantly turn over employees, and every new employee is lost. And I actually I made a point of both with UPS and FedEx. I have a record with them of where they are supposed to deliver, which is to this box out here, because I know they're going to wander. It doesn't seem to help. It should come up on the file when this address comes up. Okay, this is where it is. And if you look on Google Maps, there it is. But no, they can't. If you have an employee, it's that does the job, it's worth paying them a little more to not have stuff watered and misdelivered. But this is a constant problem with these kind of companies. But I like these pants. They're the double front. The only thing, where I usually wear them out is in the rear end. Years ago I used to wear these out. Well, now I tend to wear the ass end on them. I would almost like if they would double the butt like they used to do on some riding breeches. They had double ass on them. That would make them last a little bit longer. And I wouldn't mind if they would come with suspender buttons, because I always have to put those on. And they used to at one time come with suspender buttons. But otherwise, they're ideal for me, which is why I constantly keep them in stock. But like I say, if I have to have 8 in stock, that ain't going to bug me any. I'm willing to pay for them if they should happen to turn up. But like I say, God, they're in the wind someplace. It's something else dealing with them people. With FedEx or UPS, I've had problems in the past, but now they must have kept the same driver for a while because this one showed up. The FedEx one was confusing because it said, well, it could come from FedEx or it could come in the regular mail. How sometimes a lot of these companies like to do that where they, the last mile is done through the post office. I said, well, okay, at least I know they're going to get here then. Generally, though I do have something that's coming today now that was missent through the post office. There again, it's this weird where they count on the technology, the package is scanned, and somehow the scanner has a tendency to read the number wrong. I think the scanner can't differentiate between a 2 and a 7. It used to be they always end up in like Christine, and then there'd be a 3-day delay and it would come back to here. But in the last year or two, it's been ending up in Enderlin, and there was one ended up in Enderlin again. So they must have adjusted their machine slightly. Now it's going too far west, whereas it used to go east. Maybe if they tutor back a little, she'll get to the right zip code. But it's always, they got to rely on their technology, not a human actually dealing with it. That's when they run into problems. But anyway, I got my pants, but they can immediately go into the backups. And if more come, I can live with that. Funny thing too, I talked about YouTube considering me a valued creator, which I thought was funny. Well, now I got a message from YouTube the other day. They really would like me to start tagging stuff. In the tags on the video, like say for these pants, I should put a tag in there. And you're going to make a fortune. I don't do that stuff. I mean, a lot of people are really into that. I'm not. If I mention something, it's because it's something that I like and, that I've had good experience with. But I could do negative tags, maybe about FedEx and their monkey skilled drivers. But anyway, I got my pants. But there was something. I'm going out on the grader. Got a short day. It's something I was always going to bring up. So I carry my lunch in a backpack because there isn't that much room in a grater for anything large. But I have, for the last couple of years, used one of these Stanley boxes to keep my sandwiches in. I got tired of always, and it matches my Stanley thermos. But I always bring sandwiches, throw them in a backpack, and by the time I was going to eat them, they were flattened out. Well, this keeps my sandwiches from getting squashed. So I can recommend them. Not cheap, but with the usual Stanley quality. They're durable. Can't remember, it was about $30, I think, for that tin box. But by God, that works good. And it'll hold 2 sandwiches just perfectly. Well, enough. I gotta go. Got a short day, but might as well get at her.